When Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom hits theaters, it will officially mark the end of the DCEU. It's clearly been dead for quite some time now, but this is the last entry, releasing tomorrow in the United States for Thursday previews, has already released in some parts around the world, and it's not looking good for them at the box office. Just like nearly every other DC movie we've seen over the past 2 years, it looks like it's going to be a financial failure. Aquaman 2 early box office projections continue disastrous 2023 for DC movies. And now, just a day before it's actually getting released, those projections have now come to around a $40 million domestic normal weekend. That would be worse than what we just witnessed with The Marvels. Now, it wouldn't be the worst DC opening we've seen this year because we've seen some really bad record lows, but it certainly wouldn't bode well for the movie if it did open to $40 million. You've obviously got the Monday Christmas that's going to be tough to tell. That's going to boost its long weekend. But when it comes to traditional weekend, a $40 million. And one of the things that a lot of people have talked about throughout this entire thing was Amber Heard. Because quite frankly, Amber Heard is one of the most despised people in the world. When it comes to celebrities, most hated celebrities right now, Meghan Markle and Amber Heard are at the top of the list. And with all the rumors out there, her statements in trial that she had been cut so much from the movie, Warner Brothers fighting back, so no, we always planned on you not having as big of a role. Clearly, they have been trying to hide her in the marketing. She has barely appeared at all. We saw a couple frames in that first trailer of her smashing a window, which may or may not have just been, footage they received from, Johnny Depp's apartment. Who knows? We saw the back of her head. We saw a snippet in another trailer. It almost felt to anybody watching that Amber Heard basically wasn't in this movie. Well, we're starting to hear different. Quartering put this tweet out the other day. I regret to inform you that Amber Heard's actually in the new Aquaman movie a lot. Reports of her basically being cut out turn out not to be true. I wasn't going to see it anyway, just a piece of news from people who have seen it. And from what I've heard, I can back that up. In fact, over on Geeks and Gamers, I talked to Chris Gore from Film Thread about this 4 or 5 days ago, and he could confirm that there is a lot of Amber Heard in this movie. Despite the marketing making it seem like she's basically not in it at all, she is in a significant part of this movie. Now, in terms of reports for her being, completely cut out, we heard those probably a year or whatever ago. Most people kind of agreed she had a pared down role, not as big as she had in the first one, but she was absolutely going to be in the movie. That appears to be the case right now. And a lot of people have asked questions like, is she completely in it? How much? From what I've heard, she's going to get 10 or 15 minutes maybe, but it's not going to be very important. She's not going to have as many lines as you would expect somebody that appears that much to have, but she is going to be in this movie. She's going to be a part of this movie. And even some reviews I've seen, some reactions of people saying you can just tell when she's on screen that people in the theater don't like her. Now, whether that's coming from a super biased perspective or not, I don't know. One thing I do know for sure is that the vast majority of people do not like Amber Heard. They don't want to see her in this movie. They would have liked to see her recast. They wanted to see her booted. They wanted to see her fired from this. And kind of the same way that we saw Johnny Depp be fired from Warner Brothers so quickly over just allegations. But that is not going to happen. Amber Heard is still going to be in this movie a lot, despite Warner Brothers specifically trying to deceive people with the marketing. Because the marketing, they are hiding her. They are trying to hide her as best they can. They don't want her on screen. They've done as much as they can to hide her. They're not even having a red carpet premiere. The promotion they're doing for this movie is just fan events with Jason Momoa and James Wan going out to do things. They're not even going to have a big cast red carpet premiere or anything for this. Maybe because they just don't want Amber Heard there, or because Warner Brothers doesn't have enough money to put all of that on. Maybe that's the case too. Either way, it does look like another disastrous DC box office for Aquaman. The question is, will it be able to overcome these bad projections? Will it have good enough word of mouth to have a decent hold? I really don't know what to expect in terms of a final number for this thing. However, based on what we know about the budget, you're looking at something that at a bare minimum probably needs to hit, $650, $700 million to break even when you factor in the reshoots and the initial budget, all the VFX in this thing. It's going to be a monster budget. And I think it's going to be another loser for Warner Brothers. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.